Honestly, I can tell you that things that have changed our business and propelled us to where we are have been heard at a conference. So it is sitting in a session where you get an incredible light bulb moment and going, oh my gosh, this is what we need to do. These are the changes we need to make. These are the people we need to hire. These are the systems we need to put in. This is the vision. You can catch a vision while you're there that can absolutely change, turn your business around.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome back to the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. I'm your host, Michael Palmer, and today's show is going to be fantastic. I'm joined with two talented and inspiring bookkeeping business owners who have both been on the podcast previously, Teresa Slack and Kellie Parks, and we're talking about all of the events that are out there for bookkeepers, and specifically upcoming this fall, the Institute of Professional Bookkeepers Conference, Ignite, and the importance of attending events like these for bookkeepers. Teresa and Kellie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Michael. Glad to be here.
Hi, Michael.
Hello. Teresa and Kellie, we're going to get into it. For our global listeners, we're going to talk about a Canadian conference, and this conference is now either in its 10th or 11th year. You'll probably hear me refer to it as the IPBC, which is the Institute of Professional Bookkeepers of Canada. It has an annual conference, which this year is happening in Ottawa, Ontario, here in Canada on September 18th to 20th. And it's an amazing conference. I've been, I think, 7 of the last years that we've been to this conference. It's excellent. And what I'd like to talk about is the importance of conferences. So maybe we'll start off with you, Teresa, just in terms of, hey, why are you going to a conference?
That's a great question. I think there's a whole pile of reasons that we want to go to a conference. And I could probably take up this entire podcast talking about it, but I'll just highlight a couple. One that I'd like to highlight is that, it's where you find out what's new and what's coming, what's happening in your industry, what are the new challenges we're facing, some education, learning about all the different applications and tools that we can use to really, take our business to the next level. That's where you go and learn all of that kind of great stuff. And the other key piece is, as you know, I'm a virtual bookkeeper, so our business is completely virtual, and I know all kinds of fabulous, incredible people in our industry online. So it is absolutely wonderful to actually see them in person, give them a hug, talk to them, have a coffee, and see them face to face. So reconnecting and connecting with other people in our community, I think, is another key element for me.
Beautiful. How about yourself, Kellie?
I'm with Teresa. I could go on and on about the reasons to go. So Teresa gave a couple of the big ones for me. Content's a big one. And there's always a difference in content that's being delivered in person than online. I do host some webinars and do some series and stuff, but there is something about being there, sitting next to people, nudging, looking, nodding, getting a whole room where you know that they're engaged in that information, and it feels like maybe it's the next best thing or it was a great idea. And I just don't think you get that same sense if you're holed up in your, I have a she shed office. So if you're holed up in your she shed, I'm not sure if you get that same feeling. And then, of course, I'm a social creature, and they've got those after parties, right? Who's not there for the after parties?
I was keeping that as our little
right? Teresa, I know you're having coffee, but come on, I'm having some wine, man.
Just gotta keep it a secret, Kellie. You're giving it all away.
That would be a really poorly kept secret. I don't think I'm the first to give that away. Yeah, and then I've made so many like people that are in fact actually friends. I'm not sure I would be friends with them if I only knew them online. That doesn't really work for me. It's a great icebreaker, right, Teresa? You go to conferences and you see people that you already knew online. Yeah. You already get kind of their mindset and their value system in terms of business. But there aren't people that I know online that I would truly call my friends. Whereas people I meet at conferences, some of those people are actually real good friends now over the years.
Yeah, for sure. I have to agree. Yeah, it builds a actual relationship. Yeah, and they're like-minded friends. I'm not allowed to talk about accounting or workflows or processes or systems or anything with my family and my girlfriends that I've grown up with, or my neighbors, or really anybody but my accounting friends. And so it's great to have friends that are real-life friends that you can still talk about stuff that you find interesting that makes the rest of your friends' faces melt off. I hear you there for sure.
So both of you've very similar take on what you're looking forward to, why you're attending, and there's a significant investment to attend, and specifically in this case, it's a national convention. There's travel, there's accommodation, there's the time out of the office. How do you start to stack all of that up and say, like many people go every single year? Why is that?
Do you want to take the lead on this, Teresa?
Oh, sure. Okay. Honestly, I can tell you that things that have changed our business and propelled us to where we are have been heard at a conference. So it is sitting in a session where you get an incredible light bulb moment and going, oh my gosh, this is what we need to do. These are the changes we need to make. These are the people we need to hire. These are the systems we need to put in. This is the vision. You can catch a vision while you're there that can absolutely change, turn your business around. It's actually where I met Mark Wickersham was. I happened to attend his session at Thrive, and it turned our business around. So it is an investment in the growth of your business, and it absolutely does pay off if you use conference the way you should. If you take something out of it and actually go back into your business or into your she shed and start implementing some of the things and ideas that you have learned that are going to propel you in the right direction, then it's absolutely paid for itself, 10 times over.
Yeah, for sure. I agree, Teresa. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of that. IPBC. So I had been hosting my desktop program on Dropbox for quite a long time, but I never really considered myself on the cloud. And I was already on QuickBooks Online and using a few different things along the way. But what I really didn't have a feel for was what cloud accounting was. Mm-hmm. And so I was at IPBC in 2014 or 15, I can't remember which one. And I went to a session by Carrie Burford, and she was talking about cloud accounting. And I went because I wanted to know what this cloud accounting was. And all of a sudden I realized I was doing cloud accounting. I just didn't know that I was, but that she had really upped the game and showed me how you could do the hosting properly and engage your clients in it more. And I needed to be at a conference to hear somebody say that to me. And then another aha moment was actually at that conference. I did not get that the cloud programs like Xero, like QBO, that they weren't standalone. I thought they were fairly limited programs, and I went to a roundtable by Receipt Bank, HubDoc, Practice Ignition, and can't remember who the other one was. And a guy named Chad Davis was either the moderator or they were asking him questions. Maybe he was in the, and I was like, wow, this stuff is amazing. And I came home and I implemented HubDoc right away, and Receipt Bank not that long after, and Pluto. Oh, Pluto, that's the other one that was at the table. And there were real live bookkeepers there who were already using these apps. So it gave even more credibility on how it was working for their clients. It would have taken way longer if I wasn't at a conference to get that whole picture. For sure. And if I could just interject super quick, and I'm not going to bring the room down or anything, but it was Elaine Orr that was asking the amazing questions at that IPBC conference and really challenging the app partners. And she inspired me to learn more about the app ecosystem.
Yeah, for sure. She always was like that. Yeah.
Wonderful. You know, I think I love hearing these stories, and I've heard many over the years of members of our community that have said going to events like these not only changed their business, but changed their life. They literally connect with people. It increases confidence. It increases your knowledge. And there's a quote by Charlie Tremendous Jones, and this is what he said. You will be the same person you are today in 5 years, but for two things, the people you meet and the books you read. And we could probably add on here, right, the conferences that you attend, because you're going and meeting and surrounding yourself with people who are ambitious, they're excited, they're passionate, they're there, they're investing in themselves, they're investing in their business. And so when you put yourself around people like this, you have no idea what that's going to do to your life, to your business. It literally is magical.
Yeah, it really is.
It is magical. I wish you could see me right now, Michael. I am nodding as you were saying that. And, you know, I came away from the 2015. I'd been on QBO, like it's a drug or something. And I had been hosting my desktop in the cloud. I came back and I transitioned to completely paperless, turned my clients. I turned them on to this stuff, and it's changed not only my life because I am a traveling bookkeeper, it has changed my clients' lives. So the value in the conference right there, my clients love what all of the stuff that I learn has done for them, the knowledge I bring back to them, or the changes to their businesses that I bring back.
It's remarkable. And, you know, to add on to what you've said about learning from others, right? I remember I work independently, very much independently. I mean, we have a small team here, but I used to work in the corporate world, and there were hundreds, if not thousands of employees. Not that I was interacting with all of them, but every day you're working with people, you're seeing how they work, you see them do things, you learn from other people. Now in small business, there's a lot of benefits to being in small business. Won't go down that track right now, but some of the challenges though is that I don't have all of those people. I'm not bringing in all these new inputs into my life. Conferences, you get to sit beside people. You get to see what they're working on. Just like you've mentioned, Kelly, you're seeing what they're doing. You're asking questions, you're learning, and it's at a very rapid pace versus trying to go and watch some videos perhaps online about the things that you're talking about. It's like you're just missing maybe a couple pieces of the puzzle, but those pieces are so valuable that without it just wouldn't come together.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And you know what else? My client relationships are all with collaborating accountants and bookkeepers that I know. And the benefit to my clients of being able to have all of their team, because we're a team, invested together and collaborating together, I don't think you get a better situation for a small business than that. And it's been great. And when I have something that's not a fit for me, or it's nice to know and have met the people that maybe you're going to hand somebody off to. There's so many benefits for our clients for us attending these things. Oh, and there's after parties.
Of course.
Exactly.
Something, Kelly, is that when you get to know that if you're going to refer your clientele on, it's so much better if you actually feel, I know them, I've met them, I have a really good relationship with them. And then you feel 100% confident in saying, hey, you know what? You need to talk to Kelly, because I know that Kelly is going to solve your problems for you. So we now get a much bigger world that we can use to help all of our clients have a better business. And that comes through working at the conferences and meeting the people at the conferences. And Yeah. And going to
yeah, for sure. And you know what? I have some virtual clients that have actually never met except through Zoom. Yeah. But the collaborative relationship, because I've met people in different places that can still work with them, because sometimes people still want a local accountant or a local somebody or whatever. So it's been nice that I even know some of the accountants that are out in Vancouver working with clients, because I met them at conferences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things, Michael, that, I think is really important to kind of mention is that, yes, you can attend a webinar online. You're sitting in your office, you're in the middle of your crazy day, you attend it for an hour, 2 hours, and then you go right back to your work. What ends up happening is you don't get the opportunity to really start taking in the information. When you can step completely away from your business, leave it behind, and get your head into the conference. You've got, 3 days of intensive focusing on something outside of the day-to-day. I have found that I take it in a lot better, and that I actually come back ready to implement and use the information better than when I just hop in for a quick webinar and learn something and then go back to my crazy day. So I find that stepping out of your business to do a conference is extremely beneficial to move it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So absolutely. This is the working on your business and is critical. And you've both mentioned other conferences. We're excited right now about the IPBC Ignite conference because it's coming up, but there's also QuickBooks Connect in San Jose, Toronto. There's XeroCon. There's Scaling New Heights. There's lots of events that our listener right now, if one in your area is not coming up, or if you're not prepared to travel somewhere, you've got to put this on your radar. If you haven't been to an event, you definitely need to be thinking about going to these events. And right now, what's for North America, anyways, what's looking right now like the events that are open and available are the Institute of Professional Bookkeepers in Ottawa. There is also QuickBooks San Jose. That's QuickBooks Connect San Jose. There's also QuickBooks Connect in Toronto that's coming up. So we'll have links to get to these other conferences. I'd like to hear a little bit about, now, Teresa, this is your first time going to Ignite. So, it'd be interesting to see, why Ignite? You've been to other conferences. Why go to this conference? But then, Kellie, I'd like to hear from you. You've been to all sorts of conferences. What is it about Ignite that is unique from all these other conferences? Teresa, let's start with you in terms of what are you looking forward to at Ignite?
I'm looking forward to lots of things. I'm super excited that I can actually go this year. I haven't been able to go in previous years. I've wanted to go every year, but haven't been able to make it work. So Ottawa is perfect for me. I'm super excited about that. It's a conference where it's focused on bookkeepers. It's us. Everybody who, takes care of small business, large business, it's bookkeeping. So every seminar, every session is focused on the things that we really need to do. And the partners that are coming are app partners that we want to know about. So it's completely focused on who we are and what we want to do. So that's why I want to go. That's why I'm excited. And then, of course, on top of that, I'm getting to speak there. So I'm super excited about that too, because I love to talk. So I'm excited to share and talk at this conference.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Kellie, how about yourself? What are you looking forward to for Ignite?
After parties? No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
There are a lot of after parties.
There are a lot of after parties. No, as Teresa said, it's geared to bookkeepers. And bookkeepers have a different view on data and how it's managed and what you're going to do with it than accountants. And there are some accountants that attend this conference because they think the content is so great. And I don't disagree. And I'm looking forward to your session, Teresa, for sure. Well, you've got a couple sessions, don't you?
I do. I'm doing 2.
Yeah. Okay. This year at Ignite, we are doing some workshops too, which is going to be great. So I'm looking forward to the workshops. But so bookkeepers, as a general rule, we care about compliance and data integrity. For the most part, we don't believe in what I call bank feed bookkeeping, or formerly it used to be statement accounting. We don't care about just year-end taxes. We care that their source documents exist. We care that the client is reading their reports every stinking month when we send them to them, if we have that kind of engagement. We are in the trenches collaborating with our clients. I'm not sure if some of my clients' spouses know as much about my clients as I do some days. It's a really... If you let it be, it's a really deep relationship where you can affect the outcome of somebody's business if you're paying attention. And the bookkeepers that attend Ignite tend to be that kind of bookkeeper. They are engaged with their clients. They are engaged with technology. Bookkeepers are light years ahead. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of accountants, and I know some fantastic accountants. I'm not slamming accountants here by any stretch. But bookkeepers generally love technology, embrace it, want to know about it, and then they want it to do everything for their clients that we can possibly make it do. Even if we're those introverted people who can't make eye contact with other people, we want the best for our clients. As a general rule, bookkeepers do. And you feel that the whole way through Ignite, for sure.
Beautiful. You've both mentioned speaking. Teresa, you have 2 talks that you're going to be doing. What are the talks going to be about?
I'm going to be talking about bookkeeping for e-commerce and the struggles and the challenges of doing bookkeeping for an e-commerce client. So that's one of them. And then the other one is a workshop. And I'm doing a workshop on how to create your pricing strategy for your bookkeeping business. So kind of how to determine what the best way to price is, and some really good strategies around value pricing and everything to do with pricing.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And Kellie, you mentioned workshop, and Teresa just mentioned workshop. Why do you think workshop is a nice new addition to this event?
I'm going to jump in on that because I'm on the committee. Oh, Teresa, you're on the committee. We're all on the committee.
Both are.
So I'm doing a workshop on workflow, but we're starting off with an ideal client profile, because you got to know who you're working with and what you're going to do for them. And in that particular workshop, we are going to be doing an actual, they're going to be filling out a form that I have on how to create the ideal client profile. And then we're going to gig out on a little bit of Excel, because we're bookkeepers. We love spreadsheets. So building out a couple of workflows that maybe are the ones that are most beneficial for somebody to create right there in the moment, because then I can show them how you can upload those kinds of things into some of the application should they decide they want a workflow application. So Jetpack is a great example of it. You can literally upload an Excel file. So if I can get some people started on building out, and we're going to template some emails too, which is Kellie's other favorite topic. Yeah. So if they put something into something like Jetpack or Carbon or any of that, they're already started. And, that's one of my favorite things. The hardest part of going for a run is putting on your shoes. And the workshops, we're going to be putting on some shoes and lacing them up rather than yakking away to people. Nobody wants to stand up at the top of the room and yak without somebody coming away without an actionable.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, this is going to be a super actionable conference.
Yeah, I love that, and I think it's exciting, and I'm pretty excited. And thank you for the committee. Both of you are on. Have invited me to do some talking and some workshopping. So we're actually going to be developing a vision, a mission, and value statement, which is a critical foundation component of your business, and then as well developing the ideal client statement. So hopefully my session is after yours, Kellie, because once they've got their ideal client, it's like, how do you message to your ideal client such that they know exactly what you do, why you're the best at doing it, and want to hire you. So we'll be doing a workshop on that, which I'm pretty excited about as well. So, and that's just a little tiny shave of ice from the big iceberg of what's available at this conference. I mean, there is lots there, and also there'll be a whole bunch of webinars that'll come after the conference. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Yes, there is some.
Yeah, and people will be getting our decks too, and especially the workshop, or the, what do you call them, PowerPoints. Sorry about that. And so when somebody gets our presentations afterwards, the workshop ones, I believe, or I know mine is, and I'm doing a session on optimizing your clients' lives or managing clients with Colleen Hogarth, that I'm excited about. And those PDFs or the follow-up handouts, they're going to have actionable links in them as well. So you go there, you start the process, you got a feel for it, and then there's actionable links in all of those handouts as well, which is going to be great.
Fantastic. It is going to be an excellent event. I'm looking forward to it. And there's a couple of things I want to say about attending events like these. And I want to use an example of some people that I've met and spoken to and the outcomes that they were able to achieve. The first one was Nancy Gwynn Vaughn, and she's someone that I've worked with over the years and know very well. She's wonderful. She's been on the podcast as well. And she was, she didn't know that many people in the industry because she works only with legal firms, and that's her life, right? She works with law practices, and her life for a very big time was just her doing that work. And she didn't have a network of other bookkeepers. She wasn't involved heavily with the association. And so she was like nervous about going. Well, what will I do? Who will I talk to? What will it be like? It was like, uncomfortable. And so, I just remember her talking about that and then going and meeting all these people, and her context that she created for that event was to just go and have a blast. Go and have a blast and, come what may, it will be great. And you know what? She got out of it what she put into it. She went in there and said, I'm going to meet as many people. I'm going to have as much fun as I can. And guess what? She had a ton of fun. She met a ton of people, and she came back with all of these new ideas. That conference was a pivotal point in her career, in her business, that changed a lot of her thinking and beliefs about herself and her business. Okay, that's one. And I think that in itself is like huge, right? The other one is Patricia Davis, formerly Patricia Sawatsky. She took her maiden name back, Patricia Davis. And she went back in, I think, 2013, and she lives over on the west coast of North America in a little place called Campbell River on Vancouver Island, and she traveled all the way out to Eastern Canada to attend this event. It was she had a small business. It was an incredible investment. It was a lot of money, and she really, for her, she didn't have that money. It was like there was so many other things, right? Fix the car, do this, pay that, right? All of that money could have been put into something else for sure. And I'm sure many of our listeners can relate to that, right? It's not like money's dripping from the ceilings for many people. So she said,
what? It's not?
Exactly, right? She herself thought, if I want change, I must do something different. I must invest in myself. And so she took the risk and she went. She had no idea what she was getting herself into, but that event back in 2013 changed her business, changed her thinking. Same thing, changed her context of what she was creating. Now she has several employees working in her business. She's doing all sorts of wonderful things. She's also been on the podcast. It's remarkable. This is a transformational experience, if you want it to be, when you go to an event. And again, there's many events, but both of these examples are with the Institute of Professional Bookkeepers, and such a wonderful thing that they do. And it is changing lives and it's changing businesses. And so, listener, if you're listening to this and you've been thinking about it, if you think, oh, geez, well, I don't know, and what will it be like? Just go. If you're worried about the investment, it will pay off if you make it pay off for yourself. But you can't get the experience if you don't go and have the experience. So those are two of the examples I wanted to bring to this conversation. And I'd like both of you, as we're running out of time, of course, is final thoughts from both of you. And let's maybe start with you, Kellie. What are your final thoughts about the event and events for our listener?
Geez, I was really hoping you'd get Teresa to go first. Then I could just agree with her. What are my final thoughts on it?
Well, let's go to Teresa then, if you want to.
No, I can't. You know what? If there's any way you can swing it, I would have to say, if there's any way you can swing it, or if you're sitting on the fence, just take that leap of faith that and I hate the word ROI. Well, it's not even a word. The ROI will be there. I work with some accounting firms right now, and I don't do the why. I don't do the KPIs. But I do. As soon as they start going on about that, I'm just like, it's a leap of faith. You won't look back on it. I mean, that's the best that I can say. You won't look back and say, boy, I'm really sorry that I went to IPBC or Connect or ZeroCon. That's just not going to happen. Okay, I'm done.
Beautiful.
Oh, I completely agree with Kellie.
There you go.
No, it's so true. You know, it is an investment, but it's an investment in your business. It's an investment in your own personal growth. And it's fun. You connect with people. You know, when you have a virtual business and you're sitting in your little hole and you're just working, it is so good to get out and see somebody else and see a bunch of people who are feeling the same and who are passionate about the same things and who you can have big, long workflow conversations and they actually love it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, you know.
Right, there's that.
Right? You can, like you said, Kellie, your significant other, your family, they all kind of glaze over after a little while. These people get it. They are your tribe. They are your family. And if you can get out and see them in person, it's absolutely worth the investment.
Love it. Teresa, Kellie, thank you both again for being on the show today and sharing your thoughts on events.
You're welcome. We're happy to be here.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes, wonderful having you both. And for those of you, whether you're Canadian or American or Australian or from wherever you are in the world, you can attend the Institute of Professional Bookkeepers of Canada conference. I invite you to do it. It's not just for Canadians. The content, the very much content will be applicable to being a bookkeeper and running a bookkeeping business wherever you are on this planet. And we are very quickly becoming a global association anyways. I mean, the way that the business works and way bookkeeping is going and accounting and finance is going, it's all becoming very standardized and globalized. So we invite you to come along. But if you can't make it to these ones, pick another event and go. And we'd love to hear about your experiences when you do go to those events. So share with us on the Facebook group if you've been to an event or you'd like to comment on it or ask questions about any of the events that we've mentioned. Get on there and ask other people. It's a great way to find out, well, who's going, right? It's always a lot more fun when you bring people along. The website is ipbcignite.com for those that want to get more information. And of course, we'll have links to some other events that we've mentioned on the show. And with that, we will wrap another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. To learn more about today's wonderful guests and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.